You think confident people are born different, but most of them just became comfortable surviving embarrassment. That's it. Not prettier, not luckier, not fearless, just less controlled by the fear of looking stupid. And once you realize that, your entire understanding of confidence starts falling apart. Because most people spend years trying to feel confident before they act. But real confidence is almost always built afterward, after the awkward attempt, after the rejection, after the uncomfortable conversation, after failing publicly and realizing you didn't die. That's the part nobody likes hearing. Because it means confidence cannot be downloaded from podcasts, quotes, or late-night motivation sessions. It has to be earned emotionally. You can feel the absence of confidence in tiny moments, typing a message and deleting it 3 times, wanting to speak up in a meeting but staying quiet, over-explaining yourself because you're afraid people misunderstand you, checking who viewed your story like your self-worth is hidden in the list. And maybe the hardest part is this. You know you're holding yourself back while it's happening. You feel it in your chest. That hesitation, that internal shrinking. That strange moment where you betray your own thoughts to stay emotionally safe. Then afterward, your mind replays the moment for hours. I should have said something. Why am I like this? What's wrong with me? Nothing is wrong with you. But your brain learned that approval equals safety. So now rejection feels dangerous. Embarrassment feels dangerous. Judgment feels dangerous. And your entire personality slowly starts organizing itself around avoiding those feelings. That's how insecurity quietly takes control of someone's life. Not dramatically, subtly. You stop posting what you actually think. Stop trying things you might fail at. Stop wearing things you like. Stop expressing yourself honestly, until eventually you become emotionally edited, careful, filtered, over-aware. You know what's exhausting? Trying to manage everyone's perception of you all the time. That's why insecure people are often mentally tired. Their brain is constantly monitoring, how am I being seen right now? Wait till you hear this. The opposite of confidence is not insecurity. It's self-abandonment. That changes everything. Because now confidence stops being about appearing strong. It becomes about staying connected to yourself even when approval disappears. That's real confidence. The ability to remain yourself under social pressure. And honestly, most people lose themselves very early. Maybe growing up, being accepted mattered more than being authentic. Maybe you got laughed at once, and your brain never forgot it. Maybe rejection made you believe visibility was unsafe. So now you play smaller than you really are. Not because you lack potential. Because your nervous system associates exposure with pain. That's why confidence advice often feels fake. People tell you to believe in yourself. But belief without evidence feels fragile. Your brain wants proof. And proof only comes through action. Here's what nobody tells you about confident people. Most of them built self-trust privately before they ever looked confident publicly. Tiny moments, keeping promises to themselves, speaking honestly even when awkward, doing difficult things repeatedly. Surviving discomfort instead of avoiding it. That's where confidence actually comes from. Not admiration. Evidence. You can see this clearly in everyday life. The person who quietly goes to the gym consistently starts carrying themselves differently. The person who finally sets boundaries speaks more calmly. The person who stops lying to themselves gains a different kind of energy. Because confidence is deeply connected to integrity. When your actions and values stop fighting each other, your mind becomes quieter. And that quietness feels powerful. But this is where it changes. Because eventually you realize insecurity isn't always low self-esteem. Sometimes it's self-betrayal repeated so many times that you stop trusting your own voice. You say yes when you mean no. Stay silent when something bothers you. Pretend not to care because caring feels vulnerable. And slowly, you disconnect from yourself. That disconnection creates anxiety people mistakenly call insecurity. But wait till you hear this. Real confidence often looks very different than social media tells you. It's not loud, not always charismatic, not constantly dominant. Real confidence is usually quieter than that. It's being able to enter a room without needing everyone to validate your existence. It's speaking without obsessing over how you sound. It's failing without collapsing emotionally afterward. That kind of confidence changes your entire life. Because now fear stops controlling every decision. And that's when something unexpected starts happening. You stop chasing confidence and start building proof. That shift changes everything, because insecure people usually focus on perception. How do I appear? What do they think of me? What if I embarrass myself? But confident people become more focused on alignment. Did I act honestly? Did I show up fully? Did I abandon myself or stay real? That difference is subtle, but it completely changes how you move through life. Because once your attention shifts inward instead of outward, social pressure loses some of its power, not all at once. Gradually, you stop replaying every conversation like a courtroom trial. You stop assuming every awkward moment ruined your image. You stop treating rejection like proof you're unworthy. And honestly, that's freedom. Most people don't realize how much of their life is controlled by the fear of judgment. You can see it everywhere. People staying quiet to seem agreeable. People pretending to be confident while secretly terrified. People building personalities entirely around being liked. And the strange part? The more desperately someone needs approval, the more emotionally fragile they become. Because their identity lives in other people's reactions. That's exhausting. Here's what nobody tells you. When you build your self-worth on external validation, your confidence becomes unstable by definition. One compliment lifts you. One criticism destroys you. That's not confidence. That's emotional dependency. Real confidence is steadier than that. Not because confident people never doubt themselves, because they stop treating doubt like an emergency. That's powerful. Because doubt is normal. Every meaningful thing in life creates uncertainty. Speaking honestly. Starting over. Creating something publicly. Loving someone deeply. Walking away from what no longer fits you. Confidence isn't the absence of fear during those moments. It's the decision not to abandon yourself because of fear. That's the part people miss. Wait till you hear this. Some of the most confident people you'll ever meet still feel nervous constantly. The difference is they stopped obeying every insecure thought their mind produces. That's maturity. Understanding that thoughts are not commands. Your brain can say, "You'll fail. You'll look stupid. They won't like you." And you can still move forward anyway. That's emotional strength. And strangely enough, every time you survive something uncomfortable, your nervous system updates itself. The conversation you were terrified to have, now less scary. The thing you avoided for years, now manageable. The rejection what you thought would destroy you, you survived it. That's how confidence grows. Not through affirmations, through exposure, through evidence, through repeatedly proving to yourself, I can handle discomfort without collapsing. And this next part changes everything. Confidence is not built by always winning. It's built by realizing failure is survivable. That realization removes fear from so many parts of life. Because once you stop needing every interaction to go perfectly, you relax. Your voice becomes calmer. Your decisions become clearer. You stop overperforming for acceptance. You become more real. And real people are magnetic. Not perfect people. Not endlessly polished people. Real people. People who can laugh at themselves. People who speak honestly. People who don't crumble the second approval disappears. That kind of confidence feels different when you're around it. Calmer. Safer. More grounded. And maybe the biggest shift is this. You stop seeing confidence as something you either have or don't have. You start seeing it as a relationship with yourself. A relationship built through trust. Keeping promises privately. Facing discomfort voluntarily. telling the truth more often, showing up even when insecure. Tiny moments. But tiny moments shape identity. That's why fake confidence eventually cracks under pressure. Real confidence is earned slowly, in silence, in repetition. In uncomfortable moments, nobody applauds. And maybe that's why it feels so different. Because deep down, your mind knows when your confidence is borrowed, and when it's built. Borrowed confidence depends on attention. Built confidence depends on self-respect. One disappears when validation leaves. The other stays with you in empty rooms. And honestly, empty rooms reveal everything. Who you are without applause, without reassurance, without people reminding you that you matter. That's where real confidence is tested. Not in perfect moments, in uncertain ones. So maybe confidence was never about becoming fearless. Maybe it's about becoming someone who trusts themselves enough to keep moving while fear is present. That changes your entire life. Because now rejection becomes survivable, embarrassment becomes temporary, failure becomes information instead of identity. And suddenly the world stops feeling so emotionally dangerous. You stop hiding as much, stop shrinking, stop editing yourself into someone easier to approve of. You just become more honest, more grounded, more alive, more free. And if this felt real to you, don't ignore it.